I am here with Max W. Miller. She's the author of the self-help release, Blame It on the Feel of Pain. How are you doing today, Max?
I am fabulous.
I saw that you released this new book, Blame It on the Feel of Pain. Can you talk a little bit about like the inspiration behind it?
The inspiration behind Blame on Feel of Pain, of course, I have been writing science fiction and fantasy and some other things. That's a whole nother story. But it is about the trauma of past pain. Each individual that's going through some type of pain. It could be from parents, it could be from something that happened to you when you were a child. And I had a lot of that build up. Went through a lot of soul searching and came up with some solutions over a period of years. And so that was the, the entire thing behind Blame It on the Feel of Pain, a self-help ride to mend the hurt inside.
That's
And that
incredible.
hurt, it lingers. Yeah, it lingers and it interferes with your personal life, your relationship. You got to come full circle with it. You got to get sick and tired of thinking about something all the time and unable to do anything about it or feel that you're unable to do anything about it. So the power is in your hand. And that's what Blame It is all about,
It sounds really beautiful.
taking your power back.
And I was looking at some of the book's contents, and I noticed like, childhood trauma is one of the first things
Mm-hmm.
that you discuss. Can you talk about how important childhood trauma
Right.
is?
Childhood trauma is, I think, it is the core. And a lot of times you're going to spew that onto the person that you are with, whether it's husband. A lot of breakup is caused from things that happened long ago that your sweet husband or sweet wife really didn't have anything to do with. You're not delivered from. You have not come full circle and actually made a decision. You have to make a decision, but you can do it. Um,
Definitely.
that's
You share your own experiences in the book. How was that process of like, deciding what to share and, being so vulnerable?
I was ready to do it because in one part of the book I say, you may be asking why I'm writing this, and I say it's not that I think I can help you. I know I can help you. Sometimes you have to forgive yourself because you're holding things inside and you spew it off on other people. You want to say this person did that. This is what happened. Is it really? Is that really what happened? Even if you don't think you did anything wrong in the situation, turning to forgiving yourself is key. It opens up the door because you're then vulnerable to hearing and understanding maybe a message that's in blaming on the feel of pain. You have to open up yourself, and only you can do it. I went through this journey. My husband, he's a great guy. He's in my book as well. I have five other people that's sharing their stories. It's called True Storyville, and they're sharing their stories. But at the end of the day, you have to come to the conclusion: enough of this. I've been over this long enough. I've seen this thing in my mind. I've had post traumatic stress. Enough. I've got to get rid of it. I've got to come full circle and make a decision for myself. So that's the core of Blame It. And it talks about, scars and so many other, I think, things that will help people. We all have child trauma. We all have pain that we need to shed. You don't come in this life and leave without pain. You have happiness, but you got that pain too. So
Was there anything like extra like you had to do, not being like, a psychologist or like, having a PhD in trauma to make sure like, that it's like a book that's not giving like medical advice?
Basically, I started my career off as a psychiatric nurse.
Right.
That was my first career. So, I was experienced in seeing and knowing and working with people that's having real mental issues.
Right.
So that helped me. That helped me. The other thing, like I said before, you need to talk to somebody, you need to do it. I went and had a session and conversation with people because it was interfering with my marriage. And so instead of taking the blow of losing a man that I loved and knew that he loved me, I went and had a session about this thing. And at the time when I went, Ryan, I was unable to, and it amazed me. I was unable to really say everything out. And this, you got to get the right person though, because she kept bringing me back. She said, "You skipped a lot," and she said, "I need to know. I need you to say it out." And that was part of the journey, releasing that, literally saying it out and being vulnerable to what really happened, how I felt, and things of that nature. So, no, I'm not a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or anything. I'm just sharing my story as a roadmap to how I came out of these traumas.
Definitely. And you've written, several other books in different genres. Some of my favorites, science
Mhm.
fiction, fantasy, and paranormal categories. Like, can you talk about your interest in those genres?
I used to be a little girl. I've got a big family. So I have six brothers and two sisters. And so there was nine of us running around there, giving mama a challenge. At the end of the day, I was the one that people knew that I just had a way with words. And so my brothers and them, okay, you gonna do Mother's Day cards, things like that. And as I grew up, and went to school and, you know, prepared to be an adult, I kind of put that aside. Then something happened that was very traumatic concerning my son, and I couldn't sleep at night, right? So I would get up and go to the computer and I would start journaling, just talking about everything that I was going through. Then shortly, I started making up stories. And science fiction and fantasy is one of my favorites. So the first book I wrote was, I took it off the market, but I'm going to put it back on the market with a second book. And it's called The Legacy of Sadie Mae Stevens, Teen Superhero. I wanted to do an African American superhero character. And it did well, but like I said, I was going through a lot, family first. So I didn't go all the way through with it. It was on the market doing well. I took it off because I had to turn my attention to something else. But science fiction and fantasy, paranormal, chronicles, monster mates, and that's MATE, monster mates. That's paranormal, and the other one is Ghost Story Chronicles. Those are little ebooks, and they're on the market now. And recently, I wrote another ebook, How To, and it is about finding the one. 10 steps to finding the one. It's called From 40 Years, from 4 months to 40 years. And it's about me and I, because my first marriage was 4 months. My second is over 40 years. So something
Wow.
dramatic happened in between to get me there. And I think that that's what I'm also sharing and blaming, how I got there from 4 months, first marriage, 46 years in September on the 2nd.
I really appreciate you, Max W. Miller. Thank you so much for the time. And I recommend everyone to check out her work at her website, maxfullcircle.com. Her book is available for purchase on Amazon. Thank you so much, Max. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Thank you
Have,
so much.
have a great day.
Bye bye.